Welcome, everybody. And so good to see faces and to hear this melody called the Elul Nigun, which is bringing us into the mood. This tonight is really, we have the series of warm-ups as we're getting towards the high holy days themselves. We had Tisha B'Av, this holiday of really the low point of the year, remembering destruction, remembering brokenness, and out of that place moving towards the work we need to do to heal. That was Tisha B'Av, it was at the end of July. Then we had the beginning of Elul, this month that we're in now as we lead towards Rosh Hashanah. And tonight, Selichot, is the night where we really get serious about it. So we're going to bring out some of our most potent spiritual tools. I'm talking about Avinu Malkeinu, Adonai Selichot, these melodies which really come once a year to call our souls to do the transformative work that we all need to do. And so that's what we're in for. But first, it's still Shabbat. So we're going to savor the ending of Shabbat together with Havdalah. I suppose before we go there, just in case, I know most of you are Zoom masters by now, but in case this is still kind of new to you, just want to make sure that you're aware that we kind of need to stay muted so that the sound can work, because it's one of the things about Zoom. So we encourage you to sing in your places and to participate really actively, and you'll be muted and hearing your voice and the voice of the leader. So that's how music is going to work tonight. So we're going to say goodbye to our week with light, with spices, and with something special. So we often use Pri Hagafen, the fruit of the vine, but you don't have to. And tonight I'm going to use the fruit of wheat. And we'll see why that is later. So we have a special treat, hopefully, that'll work for us of extending. So if you have not yet gathered pen and paper, please do that. If you have a candle and a match or some matches in your space, and you can bring that candle to you to create your own sanctuary where you are, there will be a moment when we light those candles coming up soon. So I'm going to light my own here from the Havdalah candle as a kind of shamash, and at a certain point I'll ask you to light your candles as well in your spaces. And for those of you who have been to our Selichot gatherings over the years, mostly they've happened in the home of Yafa and Stephen, and just imagine those gatherings where we are in an intimate home space, where we're creating a mood that's inviting us into safety and vulnerability, and a gentle beginning to this work of exploring what we need to change. So I'm going to light the Havdalah candle in just a minute and turn things over to Mikey, who's going to lead us through the melodies of Havdalah, the braided candle, the spices, and the fruit of the wheat.
Greetings, everyone. Oh, wow. It is beautiful to be with you tonight. I want to start off this ceremony with a collective breath. So I invite you all to find a comfortable space wherever you are, if that's sitting, if that's standing, feeling your feet connected to the earth, feeling your spine reaching up to the heavens like Jacob's ladder, like a hollow bone. And I invite us all to just first close our eyes, take a big breath in, and let it go. Let's actually just do one more, like that. Big breath in, and let it go. Open up our eyes to the beautiful candle Rabbi Katie is holding. The last few flickers of Shabbat as we transition into Selichot. Please sing the words with us of Havdalah. We first start with the wine, the blessing over the spices, the blessing over the candle and the light, and finally the blessing dipping and unifying the fire and the wine. Please join. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech agafen. Bore pori agafen. Bore pori agafen. La 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. La ya la 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 ya la 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. Borei minei v'samim. La 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. Ay ay ya la 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 ya la ya la 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Borei morei ha'esh. Borei meorei ha'esh. Borei meorei ha'esh. And if you want, you can try to put your fingers up to see if you can reflect the light of the candle on your fingertips. La 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. Ay ay la 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 ya la 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 la. La 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 ya la la ya la la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lecho. Hamavdil ben kodesh lecho. Ben or lechoshech. Ben Yisrael le'yamim. Beyom hashvi'i. L'sheshet yamei hamaseh. Baruch atah Adonai Hamavdil ben kodesh lecho. Ayalai, ayay, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la la, ayay, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, nine nine nine. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. A good week, a week of peace. Make gladness reign and joy increase. A good week, a week of peace. Make gladness reign and joy increase. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu, Eliyahu, Eliyahu Agiladi, Bimera beyamenu, Yavo Eleinu, Imoshiach ben David, Imoshiach ben David. Miriam Hanevia, Oz v'Zimrat beyada, Miriam tir karitanu, lehagdir Zimrat olam. Miriam tir karitanu, letaken nata olam. Bimera beyamenu, itivienu. Yeshua, Miriam Hanevia, Oz v'zimrat beyada, Miriam tirkaritanu, lehagdil zimra, Olam.
All right, Shavua Tov, everybody.
Shavua Tov.
So if you have a candle, now's the time to get it ready. And didn't manage to light my shamash from the Havdalah candle because things got complicated, but I'm going to light one right now. And, you know, as I light it, I want to just share a teaching with you from Rabbi Nachman. I think we often go through our teshuvah process, this process of repentance, with a lot of criticism, a lot of negativity. Hashem knew, by God knew, we did all these things wrong. Looking at this litany of sins that are weighing us down, and it can be kind of self-defeating at times because we can get into a state of despair about the possibility of change if we focus only on what's bad. And so Rabbi Nachman teaches that a really important part of teshuvah is to focus not just on the things that are bad, but also to remember the things that are good. And this is, of course, really consistent with Jewish teachings that at our core we have a neshama, a soul that is tehorah, that is pure and uncorruptible and unstainable. And that's what we're returning to when we're doing all this teshuvah, this returning work. So I'm going to light this candle and in honor of that purity of soul that's within me and within all of us. And I'm going to light it while I think about one small thing that I feel good about in my life that I've done, something I'll take responsibility for. That's a good thing I've done. And Rabbi Nachman says that's really another path of teshuvah, is to remember those good things that we've done one by one. Because how could it be possible that in all of my life, in all of your life, that there's not a single good thing? So find those good things, we string them together, they become our song before the Holy One, and they become a kind of mirrored path to teshuvah, along with all of the honest looking at the things that we need to change. We should also honestly look at all the good. So I'm going to take a moment. You can get your candle ready too, and so I'll light, and you can light, and then you can also even just write in the chat if there's some light that you're returning to. What are you returning to in the year to come? What would you like to return to? A good thing inside yourself and in the world, something you're returning to. And I'm going to just set my intention here, light my candle, invite you to do that. You can share on the chat. And in just a moment, we'll sing also a song of return.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the source of it all. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Vena Shuva, Vena Shuva, Chadesh, 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 Yaminu Kekedem. Chadesh, Chadesh, Yaminu Kekedem. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the source of it all. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn again. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
So Mikey's going to offer for us an original song, and you can look for the lyrics in the chat.
Hello, everyone. Let's see if I can find the, there it is, yes. Okay. You probably didn't know this about me, but about 10 years ago, I started writing. Was it about 10 years ago? Wow, it's almost 10 years ago, 9 years ago, with a dear friend of mine. His name is Jason Fetty. He's out of originally the UK, but he lives in Laguna Beach. He's a Jewish songwriter out of there. And in the 1990s, he used to tour with this artist named David Gray. I don't know if you know David Gray. He had a couple big radio hits. Anyways, Jason Fetty and I were kindred spirits, and we connected different generations. And we opened up the book of Selichot. We were studying High Holidays. We were studying this text, and we wrote a prayer based on this text in Selichot called Rishon, Rishon. And the translation for the song is this, that that great spirit sits on a throne of mercy and compassion and acts with kindness and pardons the transgressions of her people. And she takes them in one by one. And it's what is so special about this text is that the process of healing is a one by one. It takes time, and we can't just ask for forgiveness, right? And think that it will voila, right? And it's a process, you know. It's a process. Life is a process of everything's a process. It's not instantaneous. I know we live in a world of instant gratification, social media, where it's like you click something and it happens. But sometimes the journey of healing can take time. And this is just a remembrance of that. And I'm sure you all probably already understand that. So this is just a representation of that in song. This is called Rishon, Rishon. And yeah, I invite you to sing along wherever you are, even though we can't hear you. Please sing along. We can feel the vibration. We can feel it together. So please enjoy. Please enjoy. El Melech Hashem al kisei rachamim minei bechesitu bechesidim mochel avnot amo mochel avnot amo ma'avir shom shom שומע קול סליחה מעביר שום 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 לכל אחד לכל אחד מטה למחיה טעים או סליחה לפושעים עושה צלקות עיקור והיא יוצאת מכל עמו מעביר שום שום שומע קול סליחה, מעביר שום 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 לכל אחד מעביר ראשון, come join it, come on מעביר שום שום שומע קול סליחה מעביר שום 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 לכל אחד לכל אחד yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you for that, Mikey. So I'm going to invite us into a bit of inner work and lead us in a meditation in just a moment. So to get ready for that, you can just close your eyes if you like. We're going to put on the screen something that's pleasant to look at. But I do invite you to just go ahead and close your eyes, find as comfortable a way to be in your body, in your space as you can. and go ahead and engage whatever. If you have a meditation practice, you can go ahead and engage that, although I'm going to guide us through some imaginings together. But if you have a mindfulness practice or a concentration practice, you can just sort of start there, and we'll begin. So take a few deep breaths, and you can, if you have your own practice, you can just go there, and you don't have to tune into my guidance. But if you'd like to, we're going to just take some time together to explore some of those places where we have need of teshuvah and tikkun, of repentance, of healing. So we're going to use the scaffolding that's offered to us by the Jewish mystical tradition, which teaches that all of us, our lives exist on these simultaneous levels at the same time. So we're physical beings, we're emotional beings, we are beings with intellect and mind, and we are, of course, spiritual beings. And in each of those arenas, we have amazing experiences and successes and achievements, and in each of those arenas we also fall short, and we also have places where we get wounded and places where we make mistakes and we hurt others and ourselves and the world. And so let's just take a few minutes together to move through those four worlds: the physical, the emotional, the intellectual, the spiritual, and search for those places where things should transform. So beginning with the physical level of our being, where are the places that you have fallen short of? Maybe it's ways to take care of your physical body or the physical world around us, the earth. What are you carrying that you wish to release? Bad habits, ways that we are physically in our spaces that are no longer serving us or the world around us. And now we move on to the emotional level and bring into our awareness the ways that we may have fallen short in our relationships, the ways that we may habitually become defensive or angry or tuned out, all of our emotional defense mechanisms that may no longer serve us, that may cause harm to us and to those around us. And now we move into remembering the habits of mind that we carry with us, the ways that we carry self-defeating thoughts, or that we believe things that are not true because they're convenient, the ways that we may fall short on an intellectual level. What are the ways that we may have made mistakes in our thinking that have led to harm in our world, in our relationships? What are the self-defeating tapes that we play over and over again in our minds that keep us from being who we are meant to be? And finally, we move to the level of spirit. It's hard to say exactly what a spiritual sin is. Perhaps it's just the kind of mistake that we make when we neglect the life of the spirit or fail to recognize the sanctity of the other humans around us. What mistakes have you made on that spiritual level that you'd like to release this year? So we moved through these 4 worlds very quickly in our imaginations and in silence, and in just a moment we're going to give you more time to go into those 4 worlds and to explore. And what we're going to do is give you a chance to actually write out some of what you're exploring on whatever paper and with whatever writing instrument you have with you. If we were in person, and if you've been to our gatherings in the past, I would be handing out note cards, and you'd be writing on these anonymously and handing them to me to read at Yom Kippur services. Today, I'd like you to continue with this writing practice, but instead of giving them to me when you're done, you're going to keep them, and we'll have more to do with them later on Yom Kippur. So for now, if you have paper and pen, get them at the ready. And Mikey's going to offer us another song. And as he's singing and offering that prayer, it's a chance for you to take some of the things that you just imagined and moved through in your imagination, putting them on paper. And you can put them on note cards if you want. You can put them in a journal if you want, although I think it's best if you put them somewhere where you can later destroy them in one way or another. So if they're in the heart of your journal, you may have to tear out a few pages. So go ahead and begin your writing, and Mikey's going to introduce and take us through a prayer to hold the space as we do that.
Thank you, Rabbi Katie. This is also another melody by Jason and I, Shalach Lanu Avinu. This is a text from Selichot. You can see the translation below as a part of the song. Forgive us, our divine creator. We have fallen. We've been scared and we've forgotten your protection, our connections. It's not word for word translation, but it is an interpretation of text. And I hope you'll join and sing. Slach lanu avinu, ki chatanu, ochel lanu avinu, ki fashanu, slach lanu avinu, ki chatanu, ochel lanu avinu, ki fashanu. Forgive us, our divine creator. have fallen. We have been scared and we've forgotten your protection, our connection. Forgive us, our divine creator. We have fallen. We have been scared and we've forgotten your protection, our connection. Slach lanu avinu, join me. Slach lanu avinu. Ki chatanu. Nochel lanu avinu. Ki fashanu. Ki fashanu. Forgive us one more time. Forgive us, our divine creator. We have fallen. We have been scared and we've forgotten your protection, our connection, your protection, our connection, your protection, our connection.
Okay. So we're all kind of learning as we go with this Zoom service thing, and I saw a comment go by which was really right on, which is, oh, it's hard to do too many things at once, to listen and write and so on. So fear not. If you did not have enough time to write down all your sins, I know I only got this much done and there's a lot more to do. Don't worry. We will give you time, and you have time. You have all the way till Yom Kippur. So find a good place to put that aside for now if you haven't yet. And you can always come back to it. If you're like me, you have plenty of material to work with, and it's always there waiting. So for now, I want to take us back to one of my favorite moments in the whole Torah that gives us a melody which is not just sung on the High Holy Days, but it is very much a highlight of the High Holy Day liturgy. And I'll let you guess what that is while I tell the story. Many of you probably already know. So the moment that is this prayer evokes is this moment of catastrophe. So the Jewish people have just, very recently been taken out of 400 years of slavery into the wilderness. They are wandering and they come to Mount Sinai. We know what happens. Moses goes up to receive the Ten Commandments. It's the most amazing divine human encounter ever. And at that very moment, when human and divine are communing on the mountaintop, down below, the people are losing faith. They get scared. They don't know what's happening. They want something concrete, like those old-fashioned Egyptian gods, which you can touch and see, and they make the golden calf. And it's a disaster, and a lot of things happen, and Moses comes down and shatters the Ten Commandments, and it's a horrible thing. And the people repent, and they feel terrible. Moses goes back up the mountain for another 40 days, and that's when this piece of amazing text comes to us, because Moses says to God, please, forgive them. And God agrees. And then kind of out of nowhere, Moses just goes a little further and asks for even more closeness than he already has. And he says, just God, just show me your glory. And God says, I can't do that. I cannot reveal my fullness to you in a way that you will survive it. But what I can do is I can put you into a little cleft in the mountain. I can put you almost into a cave, and then you wait there surrounded by rock and kind of safe, and I'll cover you with the palm of my hand. And then as I move by you, I'll remove my hand and you can see my afterness. That's the best I can do. You can't see my face and live, but you can encounter me that way. And so that's exactly what happens. And as that happens, this new name of God is revealed into the world. It's a name known as the 13 attributes, which are 13 attributes of mercy. And the idea is that this is the divine aspect that was activated by Moses and the people repenting when they had made their mistake. And that it's almost like a gift, like a magic key that God is giving to Moses in that moment, saying, whenever you need it, if you've really made a mistake, call on this name for the divine, and you'll activate that compassion, that mercy that's within you and within all of us and within the world and within God. So that's the 13 attributes. And so, and I just am about to post it to the chat. So throughout the whole season, starting tonight and again on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we return to chanting these words, and remembering that moment of intimacy between the human and the divine, opening up the potential for forgiveness. So if you are able to, I invite you to stand for this and sing with me, if you can. Oh. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Notze avon v'afesha, v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Notze avon v'afesha, v'chata v'nakeh. Adonai, Adonai, Erachum v'chanun, Erech apayim, v'rav chesed v'emet, Notze chesed la'alafim, Notze avon v'afesha, v'chata v'nakeh. You may be seated. We're asking forgiveness in this time, not out of a sense of making an argument that we deserve it, or listing all the reasons that, all the excuses, all the reasons that bad things happen and that we made our mistakes. We are asking for forgiveness simply because we need it and because God is forgiving. So it's not by our own merit that we come by, and it takes a lot of chutzpah. but it's not the chutzpah of saying we deserve it and this is, you know, this is our good excuse and this is who we're blaming instead of ourselves. No, it's an approach of just saying, forgive us because you're forgiving. And that's the sentiment of Avinu Malkeinu. So I'll post the words in the chat.
Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu ve'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Chanenu ve'aneinu, ki ein banu ma'asi. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Imenu mekoreinu, choninu ve'aninu. Imenu mekoreinu, choninu ve'aninu, ki ein banu ma'asi. Asimanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Asimanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Asimanu, tzedaka v'chesed. Asimanu, tzedaka v'chesed, ve'hoshienu. Ve'hoshienu. Ve'hoshienu.
All right. You may be seated. Please forgive me for not telling you to stand for that one. So we are going to wrap things up in a few minutes, and I want to just talk about a few things coming up for the High Holy Day season and what to do with the sins that you made and wrote about and so on. And then we'll close with one more piece. So first of all, just thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. Thank you for singing along. Thank you for just tuning in and being present. And for hanging in this very hard time. You know, there's a teaching that we can do teshuvah from a place of love, which is like, oh, things are wonderful and I'm so grateful and I love God so much. I want to get close to God and I'm just, you know, coming from this very positive place. And then there's that's a blessing if we're so lucky. Then there's teshuvah that's motivated by fear. And that's more common. That's kind of what we're all experiencing right now. I mean, in case our world wasn't ready to change our ways, here is a whole bunch of motivation. You know, in case we weren't taking climate change seriously, we'll try going outside in the Bay Area right now. And in case we were wondering how much longer we could put off dealing with our healthcare system, here's a pandemic. It is time to change. And it's hard to live through a time like this when there is no choice but to change. However, there's a lot of hope in knowing that so much is disrupted right now that when we do get to the other side of this, and we will, when we are rebuilding, we can aim so much higher than just going back to whatever we used to call normal. That wasn't so normal anyway. So my prayer for all of us is that we can really take this season seriously, even though we're, having services on Zoom and sitting in our living rooms and choking on the smoke and wondering if we have to, do this for a long time. May this be a context which brings us all to the sincere and deep work of transformation that we all need to do. Amen.
Amen.
So what's coming is very soon. It'll be Rosh Hashanah. Friday night is Rosh Hashanah. And we'll have family services at 5. We'll have our main services at 7 online, on Zoom. Also streaming to Facebook. Saturday morning, our children and family service will be at 9. Our main service at 10:30. And day 2 Rosh Hashanah, we are going to send you a kit of written materials and audio tracks that will be a way for you to have a self-guided do-it-yourself experience, hopefully off-screen and outdoors if things are safe to be outdoors, and to combine that with tashlich. So that is going to be sent out next week. And then between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, we actually have a very full menu of ways to engage and to deepen your practice. We'll have an evening of learning about how to take action on some local ballot measures, or one in particular, Prop 15, that could have a big impact in our world. So that'll be on Tuesday after Rosh Hashanah. Then on Wednesday after Rosh Hashanah, Thursday morning, we're going to have a healing service. And Thursday evening, the Considering God Salon is going to be hosting a conversation about how do we move through this time, what's coming up for us, how do we move from a place of yirah, which is fear, to a place of yirah, which is awe, and all of that, looking at that with a non-theistic perspective. So that's Thursday evening. Saturday, Shabbat Shuvah, is going to be a session with our member Gail Gurowitz, Embodied Spiritual Practice, Saturday morning. And then Sunday evening is Kol Nidre. So it's very full, a chance to really go deep this year. And I hope that you'll engage in all of that. And in the meantime, I know I didn't give me enough time to write down all my sins. I invite you to take some time to write, to express the things that you want to release, the things that you feel guilty about, the things that you want to confess. Put them on pieces of paper, and you'll have another chance to do it on Yom Kippur, but between now and then you might have a chance to write them. And we will tell you on Yom Kippur what to do with them, but try again to find paper that you don't mind destroying. So that's what to do with those sins. And I think we are ready to close. I'm going to hand things over to Zahava to lead us in Adon HaSlichot. I'm going to post the refrain lyrics in the chat so that you can see them. And
I did it already, Katie.
Oh, you did it already? Oh, good for you.
Everything. So if people want to join in their homes, I'll be so happy. Shalom, everyone. What a wonderful thing to be with all of you. And in times like this, when the world doesn't make any sense, I draw on memories and melodies. So this is from my childhood, and it carries with me through all my adult life. So please join me. And since Rabbi Katie cannot play the drums for me today, I have an in-house player, and that player will help me, and you can hear. So I'm going to bring my words in front. אדון הסליחות, בוחן לבבות, גולה עמוקות, דוברת צדקות, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו. הדור בנפלאות, ותיק בנחמות, זוכר ברית אבות, חוקר כליות, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו. טוב ומטיב לבריות, יודע כל נסתרות, כובש עוונות, לובש צדקות, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו. מעלה זכיות, נורא תהילות, סולח עוונות, עונה בעת צרות, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו. פועל ישועות, צופה עתידות, קורע דורות, רוכב ערבות, שומע תפילות, תמים דעות, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו, חטאנו לפניך, רחם עלינו.
Thank you, Zahava. And again, just thank you everybody for being here. I invite you to hold this sacred space for a few moments, even after the Zoom, so we can be gentle with ourselves as we retreat from this virtual gathering back into our sacred spaces at home. You can continue to take this as a contemplative space, to write, to meditate, to just continue with what we've been doing. And I hope to see you very soon, and bless every one of you with everything you need in this difficult time, with health, with safety, and with all of the inner resources that will redeem this difficult experience and help us to use it for the good of ourselves, our world, and the people we love. Shana Tova Umetuka, everybody, and we'll see you again soon.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova, see you all soon. אני פחות על, אני יכולה לסדר. אני יכולה לסדר, זה יופי, כולם רואים אותם, יאללה.